Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Got another Clan Wars battle, and it's 1AR versus HYDRA. HYDRA's slightly higher than us in their clan rating, and they're fairly tough opponents. We're going to see how this goes out. Now we're defending here as province owner, so they're going to attack us and see if we can beat them. Alright, so we're following Fury in his T110E3, but we'll give you more of a view of disposition. So, looks like we're sending Chieftain down to cover the coast side, 279s on the corner to cover the railway line, and Chiefs on the other side to cover the hill. We've got E3s, 3 E3s to also do damage and create a crossfire, as well as 1-800 and a 277. So their disposition. We've got an E3 there to cover another view of the coastline. But yeah, we're not going too far from base. Don't want to send too many people out. And there's no mediums, and you can see the enemies got 2 arty as well, and here we go. So first arty shell coming in. So they've got a Conch GC and a T92. Conch GC has a very high angle arc, so it can sort of, yeah, cut down into the hills as well. But given that we're defending, we've given up a fair bit of the map already, and we can assume that the arty is going to be moved up to, say, around the C1 area. Alright, so first enemy tank spotted, and Fuel's been spotted at his position back here. So just in view range edge. Now that's interesting, so potentially there's another tank a bit closer, but it's a bit hard to tell. Alright, yeah, we've got some more tanks coming up here. So they're pushing some chieftains up the middle. Assuming they came down from the hill and didn't spot anyone, but they picked this angle to avoid being shot at while they were coming down the hill. Fury's trying to aim some shots through the railway line. It's a pretty tricky shot, so hasn't connected yet. And this is being spotted. There you go. First artillery shot aimed at him. But you can also see we've got a few more hit points than the enemy team. That's again just due to the tank lineup. We've got more 279Es than they have. And of course the E3s, so, and yeah, they've got 2 arties as well, so that's probably giving up more hit points, but it's not quite as obvious there what the strengths of each team is just from the hit points, so we won't pay too much attention there. But their aim will be to whittle down our hit points and soften us up so that when they do push, you know, they've got less shots to do. Okay, that's interesting. That Chieftain fired an HE shell. Now it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. It just won't pin, so it's just going to do a little bit of splash damage. So it's just more annoying than anything else, but that could have been a mistake, not firing a APCR round. But who knows what their intention is there. Alright, more arty shells coming in. And not a whole lot of hit points left, and this is early in the game here, so Chieftain's in the middle there, really just doing the spotting, I would say. And if anyone tries to push on them, then they'll send their main force down there to basically take them out. So no one wants to be sucked into that particular play. It's up to them to push, we're defending, and if it's a draw then we retain the province, so it's up to them to win to take over the land. And here we go, we've got some chieftains coming in from the coast side as well, and we're starting to move our tanks around at the back here. Can't quite zoom out a bit further, but you can see the, particularly from the mini-map side, pushed our chiefs around the back of the hills here, and although they're taking a bit of damage, they're going to try and take out those enemy tanks there and try and overmatch them, which is sort of the intent here. So I can't give you a close-up view there because we're following the Fury, who's at the back, but try and give a view of what they're doing. And you can see also E100 spotted up here in the corner, and there's two E100s, so it's more likely they'll be travelling together. But again, these tanks on the north side, or sort of the west side, aren't really pushing too hard. They're really just trying to keep the pressure on through lighting up and getting the arty, because that's sort of the more vulnerable side there. Alright, and arty catching out the other E3 there. And there they're firing at the troops. Now they've come back now, so a few hit points lost there. And you can see, yep, they've done a bit of softening up, so getting down to 9 minutes left. Typically the main push will come in around the 5-6 minute mark before the battle ends, just to make sure that counter push wouldn't succeed. But in our case, we just have to defend and not be beaten to retain the land, as I mentioned before. And here comes another arty shell, and it does a fair bit of damage, but Fury's got plenty of hit points on board. So he managed to get one of those shots to go through the railway line there, which is good, and the chieftain doing the same thing, but not penning each other. So pretty typical when you're hull down on both sides. The B3 has some pretty strong armour, particularly on the top side. Alright, so that was interesting. Bit of a push that they made there on the east side, but they pulled back and probably regrouping. And good clans will do this, they'll rotate their assets typically out of view and come and push from a different side, just to confuse you. If you've set up in a particular area, you might be caught out. Here we go, so E100 spotted again. Now he's pushing fairly aggressively. There we go, so there's a full force here. We might just switch to Furious View here. There we go. 3100 damage done, ammo raking at E100. Pretty impressive there. So let's go back up to now more strategic view. And you can see now they're really pushing hard here. So as you can see, they have rotated most of their force, or at least kept them behind, taking out one of our E3s. And Fury, trying to get some more damage in here, but pushing the chieftains in here on E100, and then trying to take out their tanks on this side. So you can see they've got one 2790 right down the back here. Now that's interesting. He's way out of the fight. That's one tank down, and of course they've got two arties, so yes, they'll do some damage, but they've got long relay times, so this is sort of where it becomes a bit of a disadvantage to have arty, but that's one of the reasons why they try and knock your hit points down before they push, to sort of compensate for the lack of DPM from the arties. Alright, so the Supercon getting taken down, Fury pushing in, does a big hit on him, leaves him on 128, and he gets taken out. And now there's a lot of targets up here in the north. They whittled our tanks down here, so they've taken advantage of that imbalance. And Fury putting in some big hits here. Yeah, arty also still playing a part, but as you can see, it's so intermittent that it's probably not such a big influence. Two arty, sometimes three arty will be pretty devastating. Go. So starting to take out their tanks now. It's still pretty even though. We've got only one tank advantage so far. The idea is to keep some of their tanks isolated, and that 2790 that was at the back is now starting to pull in, and he is full health. And we've got some low health tanks down here, so still very much in the balance. We do have more hit points, and that gap is starting to grow. So what's left up here now? Just this E100. They'll come and clean him up, and there you go. Arty doing actually a pretty good job now in terms of keeping these tanks here, and Fury gets another kill there, takes out the U100. So now we've got one tank advantage, and they've got only one tank left, one full tank left, the 2790, and then we've got the two arties. So this is, I would say, the big turning point in the game. although Fury would make you think it was getting that first ammo rack would be the turning point, but as you can see, it's been in the balance for quite a few minutes. So the Artie there just whittling down the 277, but he's still staying alive, and that's good. And here we go, 279E coming in to get rid of this 279E, and he'll be gone pretty quickly. And the 279E keeping him face to face. Fury coming around to get an angle on, and one shot in, yes, and he gets the kill. So that brings Fury up to 5.9k of damage, which is pretty impressive, but of course that's all based on getting that original kill. And now we can see the position of one of the Artie there up on top of the hill, and the other one won't be too far behind, and the team just hitting the map there to indicate where they think the Artie are. Of course, Fury being an E3 is not the fastest tank around. 279E getting out in front. We've got 277, which is the fastest tank up there on the west side. And the U100 not too far behind Fury. Just in case they're down, well, I think they're going to send him to the cap area just in case. There's still 3.5 minutes to go, so one tank could quite easily cap if needed, but it's not like you could hide on this map if you're an Artie. So Kong GC spotted there. 279E fires, finally gets a shot in. Fury picks up the spotting damage, which is nice, and now they found the T92, so again, that's pretty much the end of the battle. He won't last very long. Ark is in the 279, gets rid of him, and that is the end of the battle. So great comeback there, really excellent calling as well. Let's have a look at the results. All right, I know people are interested in the sort of economics of this, but let's have a quick look at the team performance. So Fury's finished there with, as we saw, just under 6k of damage and getting the top result there. Two other tanks doing over 4k, so Stegs and Arkiz, both in two different tanks, which is good. And generally good performance from the team. Can't read too much into tanks that don't do damage. They're typically getting overwhelmed before getting a shot in. Enemy team had one tank doing 4k and a couple doing 3k. So yeah, as you saw, it was a pretty close battle. So thanks, HYDRA, sending your best team and letting us beat you. All right, now here we go, economics-wise. So Fury ended up firing 13 shots for his damage. That included getting 6 Drake's hits and 5 of those penetrating. We saw some of the difficult shots that, well, we didn't see them directly, but firing through the railway line wasn't going to really help, apart from keeping the enemy's heads down. So battle payments there, very important here in Clan Wars. That's based on the clan playing advances and getting the reserves to do that. And we can see that he's made a small profit on that game there. So good game from Fury, really excellent result there, and really exciting getting that massive ammo rack. But all-round team performance really carrying the day. And of course the caller, who I won't name, but he knows who he is, doing a great job there to keep them on track. So thanks for supplying the content, guys. Unfortunately couldn't attend the battle, but hopefully people are watching this like the video, give it a thumbs up so it can get a bit more visibility. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you know what to do. We'll have more great content to follow. Thanks very much for watching.